Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 1 of the Supreme Gamecast. Yes, I'm back in the podcast world here. I'm your host, StevoSupremo, and this was just something I thought of doing hopefully weekly to just keep you guys kind of more posted and up to date on things going on in my gaming life here. When I'm here working on videos and planning things out and filming them and editing them, it can take a while, especially for some of the videos I have in the works now that just take some more time. I figured I could make this every week just to keep you guys updated on what I'm playing, some thoughts and my responses to some of the news that has happened the past week, and things of that nature. Just a way for me to kind of vent sometimes too. And I used to do another gaming podcast back in the day with my good friends, Dustin Christ, Chance, Return to Mother Base. And we had many amazing guests on there, and I loved it. I love doing the podcast thing, and it's something I really enjoyed. So now that I'm back in the YouTube swing of things, just kind of wanted to bring it back on my channel, get back in the groove and the work of things, and again, just have more content out there for everybody. And hopefully I'll be releasing these every Tuesday so you can listen to it all week. It could be 30 minutes, it could be an hour and 30 minutes. I don't know. I don't know how long these are going to go, but I mean, it should be fun. And yeah, let's just get right into it. If this is your first time viewing my channel and you don't know me or you never heard of me, I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you for giving it a listen, giving the channel a watch. I've been growing here slowly but surely. I'm trying to hit that 1,000 subscriber mark. It'd be a dream to hit it. That's been my first goal forever, and we're kind of inching closer and closer to it. So we'll see if we get there. But again, if it's your first time, this is a gaming YouTube channel, kind of like a gaming podcast here, so to say. I've been collecting games for, it seems like forever now. But started gaming. I'm 37 years old. This year in August, I'll be 37. And I've been playing video games ever since I can remember. The first time saw a video game was, I want to say, around 4 or 5 years old. A Nintendo Entertainment System. My aunt had one. And I would go there and watch my uncle, my cousins and stuff play Super Mario World 2 and Rad Racer, and it just was awesome to look at. Finally got my own console myself, a Super Nintendo with the Mario World bundle. I got that when I was about 8 or 9 years old. I have a horrible memory. I'll get into that probably in another podcast, but it's tough for me to remember those things. But I do remember getting it for Christmas, and one of the best Christmas presents I have ever received. And just sitting there playing Mario World constantly over and over again. But really got into collecting around just before the time I started this channel. I want to say I started my channel in 2000. And man, I'll bring it up right now. When was my channel? My first YouTube video. Wanted to say it was 2008, but it actually could have been later. I think I made my channel in 2008. 12 was I made my channel in 08. 2012 was when I did my very first YouTube video. I had already started collecting and was a big gamer before then, though. But I really started getting heavy into the collecting scene then and didn't turn back. And my collection has grown pretty large. I'm quite proud of it, but it's not just for the collecting sake. It's really because I love games. I love games on every console, and I just love the memory of having them, having the physical copies of them, and just being able to pull it down off the shelf and play it whenever I want to. It's just a really great hobby that I've enjoyed over the years. It's been expensive, nowhere near as expensive as it is now. But that's just me. I'm a gamer, and that's what this channel is about. I also dabble into something new I've been getting into ever since games have been going through the roof, and that's card collecting, card investing. The channel probably won't do too much more on the sports side of that, but if I get into some Pokemon cards and stuff, I still might post that on my channel, because that is something I really like collecting now too. Is Pokemon, only because, like I said, games, I've done videos on it already of kind of like the whatnot thing and everything, games are getting outrageous for a collector like me who likes to get the older stuff, try to fill out my collection. They're getting out of hand. And cards were like a cheaper thing to kind of substitute that with. And it can bring me some joy too, like pulling that nice ultra rare card or something from Pokemon or Dragon Ball Z cards, whatever it may be, or even sports cards. Pulling that autograph low number card. It's a lot of fun. And that's just been something new I started picking up last summer, and it's been a blast, like trying to fill out collections. But it just kind of hurts, like the way the prices have gone with the hobby. And I don't know if it's all to blame for the pandemic that hit, but I remember years ago, even when starting this journey and wanting to collect a lot of stuff, I mean, I was not a rich man, and there's these dream games you want to get, these bucket list games that, looking back on now, what could have been like 60, 80 bucks, 120 bucks is now in that 400, $500 range, and that's just really high. And even though now I'm in a position where even if I want to splurge on something like that, it's possible in my life now. But I can't justify it. I cannot justify spending that much money on a video game, knowing that I have 3 children who could greatly need that money for something else, and I'd want to do something for them. So it's it's been rough because there is a lot of stuff out there I still want to fill in my collection, my Metroid collection. I really want to get that. It's the dual disc copy of it's Metroid Prime and Wind Waker in one GameCube case, and I really want to get that. But I think the last time I even checked, that game is probably in the $700 range now for what it would cost to get that. And I'm gonna bring up eBay right now. Here, we'll switch on over to if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm gonna look it up right now. You can see some other stuff I've been looking up. But what do we got here? Metroid Prime Wind Waker GameCube. Well, there you go, 500. That's actually not too bad. That's kind of still where it was. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, the discs. Oh, there we go. But this is what I was looking. That kind of doesn't. That looks a little fishy, but we'll go to this one. This is the game. The Metroid Prime. This is what I'm looking forward to or looking to get. And yeah, 700, 800 bucks. When was the last one even sold? Wow, okay. I wonder what this is. If this is I don't want to drag this on about this. I don't this why did this go so cheap? Anyways, I won't look into that. But yeah, it's cheap and it's 400 bucks. But you get the drift. That's like one of the big ones I want to get. But the collecting scene has just gotten kind of out of control, and I can look at my collection and I can see these games that I'm like, wow, I got a lot of money worth of games here, but I'd rather be able to buy more than I want for my collection for cheaper. But I guess it's just like me with the cards. There's sports cards I'm investing in, hoping that one day this $200 card is going to possibly be $5,000 card, $5,000 in the future, so I could make a profit on it. And I guess that's what everyone's doing with games now. Maybe they're just wanting to hold on to them and see that profit down the road. That's just not what I collected games for, so I just collected them to play them. So a card collector could probably look at me the same way with some of the cards I want to hold on to. So I'm not going to throw any fault or shade. But if you haven't, I encourage you to watch the Whatnot video, because there is stuff going on out there with just people overpaying for games. Games are already high priced now. don't go spending more than you have to on games, guys. Whatnot is a great app and I love it. I just don't want to see people overpaying for stuff that you could get for cheaper because you're paying more out your wallet, and in the long run, it might make others have to pay more out of their wallet. So do your research on that stuff. But before I go on around about that, and this turns into a hour-long episode of gaming goodness, that's the channel. That's what I do. So, but to get into some stuff that has happened recently, I had noticed today, and apparently it's been up for a couple days now. Capcom has a pinned tweet of it, and that is they had this countdown clock on a website, and people are speculation going on. What could these games be, or what is Capcom going to announce? And I think the countdown is down to 6 days now, and today is Valentine's Day, and that would mean on the 20th you're going to be saying something. I'm trying to look see what does the 20th hit on, a Sunday. So will they be announcing something on Sunday? And there's been rumors: Dragon's Dogma 2, Street Fighter 6. Probably going to finally show off the Resident Evil 4 remake that's supposed to be in the works. It's who knows what's going to be shown. So I'm really excited about that because I'm sure they're probably going to show some Monster Hunter, some Break though, because that's going to be coming this summer, and probably going to show some stuff on that, seeing how big Monster Hunter Rise has sold for them. So, which is good. I'm glad it's done well for them, because you guys know, like, I love that game. And if you haven't, you watch the top 10 games of the year for 2021 for me. But yeah, it's going to be curious to see what they come out with. You know, Street Fighter 6, 5 seemed to get this lukewarm reception. And I know it's had its, well, not expansions, but kind of changes. Kind of like 4 went through with Super version, then Arcade Edition and stuff like that. But yeah, I was big into watching Street Fighter 4 tournaments back in the Street Fighter 4 days. Mike Ross, Filipino champ. It's I remember all those guys. Like just watching them run through the tournaments or not run through it. Daigo, uh, Bonchan, just all these people. And none of them play anymore. I don't know. It was something about watching them play in tournaments. A lot of them had a lot of charisma and character. And I couldn't even tell you the last tournament I tried to watch. Now, I'm horrible at fighting games. Ask Alex. I mean, Return to Mother Base. Every time we'd play a game, he'd crush me, which he's good at him and he enjoys them. But I hate them, but I love watching them. And it's one of those games I wish I was good at, because I bet you that nothing feels better than being great at a fighting game. Like just going in there and bodying your opponent in an online battle. It's probably an awesome feeling. So, but I'm never going to feel that feeling because I'm just awful at them. But kudos to anyone who is. I mean, Fight Night, Knockout Kings, you know, I'm halfway decent at the boxing games. But I just never could. Never could, even though as much as I wanted to get good at fighting games. So if that's an announcement, good for them. I'm really hoping to see what this Resident Evil 4 remake does look like, because how the remakes turned for 2 and 3, they're gorgeous. So I know 4 is going to probably look just as good. It's going to be curious, though, to see if they leave 4 with the static shooting system in it, or if they're going to switch it up to how they changed the system for 2 and 3, which I'd be all for that. I'm actually Oculus Quest 2. I was so stoked when they announced Resident Evil 4 VR for that. I started playing through it when I first got it, and it actually plays really well. I've had a blast like playing through it. I haven't gotten too far into it, and because my son really likes to play the Oculus Quest, and I let him use it a lot. And you know, as much as it pains me to say, I mean, I do have imbalance issues Again, I won't go into my whole medical history on here, but I have inner ear issues in my balance, and with wearing the Oculus Quest too long, I will start getting headaches and feel dizzy and nauseous. But for the time I can be in there playing it, it's an amazing experience. Oh, I love VR so much. I just wish my body wasn't as screwed up as it was so I could enjoy it more. Playing through Half Life Alex, still one of the most amazing gaming experiences I ever had. But Resident Evil 4 is nothing like that. It's more arcade like playing through that. And playing through it again from the little bit I did, it was kind of hard for me to see why people held it in such high regard. Now, don't get me wrong, because I love Resident Evil. Resident Evil 2 was my favorite game for a long time of all time until Bloodborne and Super Metroid. I finally played that, came along. And even then, I'd like to just say it's a three-way tie. But I loved it back in the day when I first played it because there was no Resident Evil experience like it. It was a new experience with how they did the third person camera and everything. Sitting there playing it with my friends. My buddy had the Resident Evil 4 guide. I remember I bought the guide and the game on the same day. And my best friend, Damon, we went to another buddy's at my house, Tristan's, and we played it at his house while my buddy Damon sat there and read like the strategy guide for me. And that's how we kind of played it for a little bit. We played it for hours that night. And then I eventually had to go home. I think we stayed the night that night and then played some more in the morning. But then I had to take it home and continue my journey alone. But amazing experience. But playing through it right now in the Oculus Quest 2, I mean, the RE2 remake and Village and stuff, they play way better to me and are better games in my opinion from what I've played so far of the Resident Evil 4 game. Now, as I get further into it, maybe that changes, but the combat, shoot a guy, kick him, knock him down, it's, I don't know, just feels more arcadey. And Resident Evil 2 will always be the better game to me than over 4. I know that could be controversial for some, but especially the remake. It looks so good, plays amazing, still had the fear factor there, close quarters. Kind of iffy on the Mr. X thing. Like this is stuff we haven't been able to talk about, guys, since I've been out of the YouTube game, the RE2 remake and everything. But I just love the game. Incredible. But I think a remake of 4, it could just be flat out amazing, especially if they use the same control system with RE2 remake and RE3. It visually it could look stunning. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it right now. But it's one of those things like how Final Fantasy VII, that remake is going where it's kind of in pieces because it's going to be this big undertaking to do it. It would seem like a remake of 4 would be a huge undertaking. Maybe not as big as a PS1 trying to generate it into this fully rendered 3D game now. But I mean, there's still been a big leap from RE4 to now. So it's gonna seeing how the Force looks with the technology we got now in the RE engine, which by the way, that engine is incredible. From was the first time we saw it in Resident Evil 7. I cannot recall, but I want to say it was used for RE7. Then in RE8 and in Monster Hunter, they got themselves a great engine. So it's just going to look gorgeous. I can't wait to see it. So maybe that could be shown off in the countdown clock. Anyways, on Sunday, 20th, Capcom fans, look forward to that. It's going to be cool seeing what's in it. And I guess I could have showed. Let me bring it up now. Where's that clock at? Yeah, here it is. Here's the clock. There's the countdown clock. 6 days, 0 hours. So I guess it's going to be announced at 9:30 at night when it happens too. I'll refresh it just in case it's not like a live clock. Yep, 6 days. So hey, I'm looking forward to it. So hopefully it'll be on y'all's list of something to look forward to. But another thing that kind of popped up in the news not too long ago was a headline from one of my favorite game developers. And that's Platinum Games. And it was a headline that, was a little disheartening, but at the same time, completely can understand. And while I'm bringing it up, let's put on some background footage here. Platinum Games. Platinum Games announced in a headline that, there you go. Shout out to this video before I muted it. The Digital Dream Club. Digital Dream Club here. Let's get them up. Platinum Games has always been a fantastic single player experience action games. I've loved them. They've just done such a great with you go from Bayonetta, Astral Chain, Binary Domain, One of the Kings. They have a list of just incredible games that they've developed. The unfortunate, Metal Gear Rising, like just watching this video, bringing back memories. Just great action games. They do action right. They get action right. They've even helped out on the side with other games. I want to say they helped out with Breath of the Wild, I want to say, were they like helping with development on that, did little parts. But they announced the other day that they want to go to more of a like a Fortnite a live service model. They want to do live service model style games where they can just continue to update the game as you play. Now, see Platinum Games, but we're going to fast forward to some other stuff. There we go. So they want to pull their attention away from these great single player experiences and go to the route of a live service thing. And it just hurt because, they have such great, like I said, action single player experiences. Now they want to go to a live service game. Now, is that a bad thing? Time will tell. There are some great live service games out there, whether you like it or not. Fortnite has just continued to dominate in the battle royale game genre, and Warzone's out there, millions of players. I want anything with like a battle pass, it seems like, getting continuously updated content. These live service games generate lots of revenue for companies, especially if it's a successful one. So you cannot fault them for wanting to pursue something like that. The question is, what is the game that's going to be the game of service? Like, what will they do? The only thing I've seen some speculation come to mind, which I don't know if it would work or not, but I really enjoyed the game. Anarchy Reigns had a multiplayer system to it, an online multiplayer where, Anarchy Reigns, for those who don't know, it was like a brawler, like a beat 'em up. And you could go online and have these like death matches and team matches where it's your team, you pick your brawler going against another team, just fighting it out. It's like a arena 3D fighting game online, multiplayer. And I had a good time with it. I really enjoyed the game, the over-the-top action and stuff. It's something, again, like I enjoyed. I enjoy their games. So is that going to be their live service style? Like, what can it be? But then I started thinking about Scalebound. And you know how Scalebound, what met its sad end and got canceled, when that was one of the most excited reasons I had for wanting to own an Xbox, was Scalebound. And unfortunately, it just wasn't meant to be. Now, could that be a type of game that goes over to a live service model? I know there is, and I apologize for not remembering what the game is called. There is a game out there, kind of based along the Monster Hunter model. That is a live service game where it's like Monster Hunter. I cannot recall what the name was. Leave in the comments below if you recall. But if Scalebound can kind of be something like that with an open world MMO style, live service style, maybe that could be what it is. They can turn that into a live service version. Or they're going to make some type of Monster Hunter action style game that could be a live service type of model. That could be possible. And whatever it is, I'm looking forward to it because I want to participate and enjoy the game. If it's as good as all their other action games, if that can carry over to a live service model, then sure. It just stinks that there's not going to be any other single player games possibly in the near future. Or if there are, it might be few and far in between. That actually, I wonder what the last game they worked on was. Let's see here on the mobile device. Platinum Games. Let's look it up. I know they're working on Bayonetta 3. But what was the last game before that they even developed? Games developed. Here we go. They said they worked on Babylon's Fall, but it's labeled as Square Enix. So I don't know how much they had in there. Wonderful 101 Remastered. World of Demons on iOS. No thanks. I don't know anything about that. Sol Cresta. So the last real one I know about is 2019 Astral Chain. And being a Nier fan as well, it's going to stink if there's no more Nier games in the future. But I mean, we'll see. Again, I'm hoping for the best that even if it's live service, then it'll still be great. It'll still be a good time. Because again, I trust their quality and their development. So, yeah. With that being said, we shall move on to the next topic at hand. And the next thing I want to talk about is the Nintendo Direct that went down. That was something that, it kind of got announced short notice and kind of caught everyone up by surprise, I think. I don't follow too many channels and rumors and stuff, so maybe people knew about this was going to happen for a while now. But I had no idea that a Nintendo Direct would be coming in our future. And needless to say, we got one. And if you watch my reactions, I ended up giving it a solid grade of a B. There were so many games in this Direct that I enjoyed and was happy to see. First and foremost, the big surprise was being Super Mario, this new Super Mario Strikers game. We had more Advanced Wars shown, but we knew about that. Seeing Strikers was a great surprise. Mario Strikers Battle League. It's something I know the last entry we had was on the Wii, and before that we had some GameCube Strikers, but people have been clamoring. The Mario sports games are always a good time, so it was good seeing that. Alive looks like an incredible JRPG. Project Triangle. I'm still curious to play that. I haven't downloaded the demo yet, so I need to test it out and see what it's all about. But I've really been enjoying tactical strategy RPGs the past few years. Been loving them. Seeing Front Mission 1 and 2 getting remastered and coming out. Those looked gorgeous. So I cannot wait to get my hands on some Front Mission action. I'm hoping we're going to get actual physical copies of it, but I'm worried it's probably going to be eShop exclusives, but maybe out in Asia, in Japan, they could come out with something on Play Asia and release us a physical copy with the combo pack. But this is like a remake done right, in my opinion, too. Like, if you remember the Front Mission graphics from PlayStation, this is huge steps up, and I can't wait to dive into this because it has mechs and it's tactical strategy RPG. It's just the only thing they could do to make this better is if it was Gundams in their place, but they got a series like that already, so there's no need for it. But really looking forward to that one. The Klonoa packs that are coming out, can't wait to get. Chrono Cross remaster remake coming out. Of course, we know about Kirby. People were going nuts over the Kirby car thing, memes popping up everywhere, but it looks adorable. The world looks great. Of course, you're getting those Mario 3D Mario game vibes from it, which is a good thing because Kirby still holds his own with his own powers and everything, but it's awesome seeing these open worlds to explore, these levels to traverse. My kids are excited to play it. We're all excited. Splatoon 3, which was shown earlier, I want to play that. They just did a good job of showing games that I want to play and that I want to get. And here again, the Klonoa Fantasy, like 1 and 2, you don't have to spend hundreds of dollars now, and you can get these upgraded versions of it. I know Pete Dorr was probably stoked seeing this announcement, so I'm looking forward to getting those as well. So the conference overall, I thought had at least 10 to 12 games that I want to get to play. Of course, it had its blunders. I mean, you're showing these old games like Portal 2 and stuff that a lot of people don't care about anymore if you haven't played it. You had the new Switch sports come out, which, yeah, just 6 games. I'm sure they're probably going to charge $60. Then they had the thing with Mario Kart, where they announced everyone was thinking there was going to be these. I guess we can talk about Earthbound first. Dread updates, nothing special. The creator of Earthbound retweeted the Nintendo Direct, which got Earthbound fans all excited. Was this going to be the chance? They finally get the game they want. And once again, to me, it seems like a disappointment. You get Earthbound and Earthbound Beginnings on the eShop. I mean, we've had access to these on the Wii U. So to me, this wasn't such a huge announcement. It's awesome that if you're a Nintendo Online subscriber, you are getting them. And if you've never played through them, you can. But I just thought if the director or the creator of the game tweets out something like that, I'm expecting more. And it just seemed like a drop of the ball. Like I thought there was going to be a remake at least announced for one of these games, or Mother 3 finally coming over, just something announced. But this is what people got. So I know a lot of people are happy. I'd be a little mixed on that because you kind of teased me. But once again, I guess this is a test. If it does well, maybe you'll see something in the future, Mother Earth fans, Earthbound fans. So there was that. Then you had the Mario Kart news. Again, I thought everyone's thinking there's going to be 9. There were rumors how they were going to mix it up and change up the series with some new strategies. And what they actually announced was this booster course pass where you're getting 48 tracks for $24. That is so cheap for that many tracks. And it's enough tracks to make a new game, yet they're releasing it as DLC for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Again, people kind of split on this. Why would you do this? Well, I want to say they have 43 million copies of this shipped last time I checked. That doesn't mean all were sold, but shipped. I know it's the highest selling. I thought it was the highest selling Switch game to date. And when you got that many people as an install base, you got to capitalize on it. You know, this came bundled in with some consoles. So a lot of people were getting this, and they were getting it with that console price around the holidays. So if they can get some money from them from this pass, that's how they're going to do it. You know, you're saying, well, you can charge $60 for another Mario Kart 9. Yeah, but you could also just charge 25. Maybe get lucky and get half of the people 20 something million people to actually buy this. Mario Kart 9 comes out. How many would it actually sell since there is an 8, maybe 10 to 15. I mean, you just never know. You never know how many a game is going to sell. So, oh, we're pausing that before I talk about it. So you just never know what it's going to be like out there. So I think it's kind of smart to kind of capitalize on the install bases there. The engine's there already built for that game. Just put the tracks in there. A lot of great tracks still not added from classics that seem to be coming now. So will I buy it? It looks like, if I understood it correctly, if you are subscribed to the Nintendo Online, you get them for free. I need clarification on that. I'm not sure because, oh, hands down, I'll re-download all those tracks and go online and have a blast. Well, I paid 25. I don't play Mario Kart anymore. Like, I don't turn it on anymore. So I don't know if I would actually buy it and play it unless my son or my daughter or my kids wanted it. Then I'd get it for them. So just interesting how that got announced. But then the game of the show for me that stole it all, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was announced. And not only was it just announced, they gave us a release date for September. I thought this trailer was beautiful. It gave me vibes from Xenoblade Chronicles, the first one, which is my favorite JRPG of all time. And it kind of harkened back to that for me. And I enjoyed Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It was a great game as well, but the first one will also hold the cake for me just because I enjoyed the battle system more than that. It had that MMO style battle system cooldowns where I really like that kind of system in games. So this looks like a good mix of the graphics from 2 with maybe the system and the graphics of the first one. And it just look how large this looks. I know Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was open world, but areas didn't seem as large as like what you got in that first scene of him running out there. It just looks huge. So I cannot wait. Again, this trailer was beautiful. The song playing in the end, it just, it just sounds gorgeous. I cannot wait to get my hands on this game. Cannot wait. Is this where the song is? Actually, I just realized you guys can't hear that. You guys couldn't hear what I was listening to. Let me unmute it real quick. Here you go. Listen to this beautiful music. I mean, come on now. Come on. I mean, that was just money right there. So I can't wait for it. I am so looking forward to it. I am ready. As Reggie would say, my body is ready for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I haven't even played through the definitive edition yet. So that's going to be something I stream because I do want to go through that again before I go through Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So really cannot wait to play that. And again, if you want to watch me stream over on Twitch playing through Chronicles Definitive Edition, it'll probably be later on in the year because we have Elden Ring coming out, which is going to be getting all my attention here over the next couple days. So I'm really looking forward to that one. But yeah, overall, I thought it was solid, like a good solid B I wanted to give it an A, but just some tiny hiccups there. If they would have showed maybe a new Mario game as far as the mainline franchise, or a little bit of Metroid Prime 4, that would have gave it an A. But for now, I'm happy with the B grade. But anyways, Man, this has already gone probably way longer than I thought it would. And this would probably make a good enough episode for me now, where we're at. But I do want to talk about our main talking point here, which was the title of this video. I don't know how long I'll talk about it now because it is getting a little bit longer into the show. But anyways, now we're going to go on to the supreme topic of the night. And that is going to be our main headline of what this show is, which would normally be the longest, probably part of the show where I really harken in deep into. But I did not expect to go this long. But that supreme topic is that I have finally beaten it. Finally, after all these years, I have beaten Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. Yes, it again. I wasn't on the YouTubes when we were playing it. We were playing it when it first came out. So none of you guys got to hear my impressions or thoughts on it. But I'm fine. I'll share that journey with you now because it's not a good one. And here's some footage of me. I started streaming it on YouTube, but due to some unfortunate misgivings of me streaming a full 3 hours where I thought I was streaming and I wasn't going through the game, it kind of ruined the playthrough and didn't make sense for me to continue uploading anymore because I couldn't, or streaming it because I couldn't go back and redo the stuff. Right, I have to start from the beginning, and I want it to be a natural full pet playthrough. So right now you can just see me getting crushed by the chained ogre, an earlier boss in the game, over and over again. But what happened in 2019? Anyone who knows me or has been a follower of the channel, you know I love the Souls series, Bloodborne, all those games. I've loved them. Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Bloodborne. Bloodborne, again, it had dethroned Resident Evil 2 as my favorite game of all time. It took number one. Was going to be Dark Souls until Bloodborne came out, and I just thought that game was incredible. So, of course, I was excited about Sekiro. And of course, I got it day one. And then I started playing it. And even you can see from the footage now, I just wasn't good at it. And it was so disheartening because it seems like they just keep making their games harder and harder. And as I get older, my gaming skills just are diminishing and diminishing. And I'm just not as good at a lot of them anymore. My timing just isn't there. Again, my thought process isn't there like it used to be, thinking things through. And it stunk. It was disheartening because here I am, a fan of these games in this series, and this game was just crushing me. But I eventually slowly made progress in the game, slowly made it through, and would get to a boss, fight him for a little bit. If I couldn't figure it out, I'd look up a video for a strategy, then continue to fight it because even strategies, even if you know them, you have to execute them, and still couldn't do it. But I eventually worked my way all the way to the Guardian Ape. And at this point I've been having a good, like, the movement in the game is incredible. The combat feels good. Traversing the world, the land feels great, especially with your grappling hook. Just the movement feels good. Everything visually, like, great game. It's just I wasn't good at it. Just couldn't figure it out. And again, this is an early boss here we're fighting. And I just keep getting mauled by him. The first time I played this game in 2019, I actually was able to beat Lady Butterfly, which is known to be one of the tougher bosses in the game. Yet, I was able to beat her. But when I got to the Guardian Ape, it just it fell apart there. I mean, hours. I would sit there and fight that ape and could not make any progress. I was just stuck. I had I looked up videos, strategies. What can I do to beat this thing? And when I finally defeated the first phase, there's a second phase. I mean, and I would get killed on that one. So that was my breaking point. I said, I'm done with this game. Unfortunately, it has beaten me. This is going to be the first From Software game I actually have to just give up and put away. Like there's no way. I can't do it. So I did. Then we get Elden Ring announced. And of course, I'm super excited for that game. But from what I've heard, it's even harder than any other of the games. I didn't play the network test because I don't want anything to ruin that first playthrough experience of not having to stop because the game's telling me I need to stop. I want to stop when I want to stop. So I didn't do it, but I've heard it's really tough. That kind of scared me because I'm hoping I'll be able to play through it and enjoy it. But I said, you know what? In order for me to enjoy that game, I need to commit to trying to beat Sekiro. I cannot move on with the From Software games if I don't finish this one. So I told myself I was going to play it and beat it. So got the version for PC just because it's easier to stream that than hooking up the PS5 and playing the PS4 copy through that. And started a playthrough up again. I was like, you know what? And I'll even stream it to have the witnesses to see me, to beat it. And it happened. I actually beat it. It's just unfortunate I wasn't able to stream through it. Now, what was different this time around? Well, one of the big changes for me this time around was the screen I was playing on, believe it or not. Last time I was playing this game, I was playing it on a big flat screen TV that did not have a game mode. That means there's input delay. This game is unplayable with input delay. There's no way you can do it. Well, let me rewind first. One of the other things that pushed me over the edge to play this was Awesome Games Done Quick 2022 had just happened. And a guy beat this game blindfolded, ladies and gentlemen. He beat it with his eyes closed. And I knew if that guy could do it, I got no excuses. I mean, there's people who probably beat this game who play with their feet. This guy did it with his eyes closed. I know I can do this. That was really what pushed me over the edge. But anyways, my TV had an input delay. That's not good for a game based off of parrying and timing and counterattacks. It's horrible. So when playing this game on my computer monitor here that has a 1 millisecond refresh rate and everything, miles different. It was completely different playing it. So my parrying and timing and everything was better. Now you couldn't tell with the ogre battle there because you're not really parrying in that part. You're kind of like dodging his moves. That's not really a parry battle. But the battles that required me to block sword attacks and stuff, I was actually way better when playing on the computer here and doing it. And it made the game easier. The combat felt smoother and better. And I was in a good vibe with it. Until I diverted and tried to fight a lady butterfly early in the game, which let me just hide while I try to rotate to that, and I can have that playing in the background. I want to say I started off a whole stream dedicated just to fighting her. I went to her early, and I was having decent success. I was doing good at the parrying and learning her moves, learning when to counter. The only problem would happen, I'd get to that second phase and not wanting to use the snap seeds and dodge. all the flying butterflies that come at you. It just started to get overwhelming, and I would get so close. There was a time where I got so close, even at this low part here of having no health early in the game, where I almost had her beat, and I was saving that one snap seed you get from the guy to where it was going to be a time where I knew, like, this is going to be the one where I got her. And sure enough, I used that snap seed and it didn't work. None of the ghosts disappeared. So it wasted the snap seed. But, anyways, fast forward a little bit later, and I kept the death counter up here. You can't see it because of the screen there. But I played her till I got over 50 deaths on this first run till I finally gave up. But then finally, I will show it. Boom. Don't need to hear me talking. But I went back to Lady Butterfly here later on in the game after I got a little bit stronger and powered myself up and was able to defeat her. And I think it's on this like first attempt coming back. Like, I don't even think I died this time. Just because by this point in the game, I had gotten so much better at it. And I mean, she still gets her licks in on me and we go the distance, but I took her out. But anyways, unfortunately, I do not have the footage of the Guardian Ape fight because that was the one that was going to be the big test for me again. That was the one that defeated me last time. It was the one that crushed my soul last time. Would I be able to beat the Guardian Ape this time? And of course I did, since I beat the game. But not only did I beat it on the first go. I beat that ape on my first attempt, getting down there, no resets, one and done. That's all it took. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. And I realized this time while going into the ape, I was a lot more powerful than I was last time I had played the game. Oh wait, looks like I did die to Lady Death once. This video was so short, I didn't know if I did or not. But yeah, again, first try. I remember getting past the first phase and I still hadn't died, and I want to say I had like both chances to revive against the second phase, even if I did, and I did not die. And I remember being so happy because I was so worried because I remembered the second phase from when I first played it. But I mean, it was a cakewalk. Like, as long as you ran away from the terror, I mean, he was easy peasy. So, needless to say, I was elated. I couldn't believe it. Just everything started clicking this playthrough with it. Now, I do have a confession. I beat the game and I saw credits, but I chose the Iron Code ending during this first playthrough. And anyone who knows anything about the game, that's kind of the bad ending where you fight Ishin at the end on top of the castle and the girl in the game. Like, you fight both of them instead of fighting Al and going on to the further fights. And I chose that because I was like, you know what? I just want to see these credits roll. This still isn't going to be an easy fight. And it would just feel good to me to just see credits in this game. And then in the future, I'll go back and try to get that true ending. But for now, I'm completely happy with the ending I got with that one. Because, I mean, even with that, it was tough. That fight took multiple attempts to even do that. I mean, it was hard for me. So, another part of me was, I think I was scared too. I was scared to pass that point and then be worried that I get far into the game again and just not be able to overcome the last couple of bosses. Because I've seen the fights, I've watched speed runs, I know how this game ends and the fights that you got to do. and the apes where you got to fight both of them, and the final boss encounters and stuff, they look incredibly difficult. And I was worried that I did not want to get to that point again and fall short. So let me see something. So, and I feel happy with that. I feel happy that I got to see something. But I will go in the future again and play through and try to get that true final boss fight. That is a goal I'm going to set for myself. But Elden Ring's coming first. Elden Ring is coming first. So, yeah, I am looking forward to diving back into this game again. But it was awesome to finally put it under my belt, put it to rest, because it haunted me for years, you guys. This game haunted me for years, that I just was not able to beat it and play it, or it just to beat it. So I'm just glad. I feel like a part of me it's been resolved, that I've been able to see credits in this game. So yeah, it was tough. It wasn't easy. Extremely tough. But I'm still happy. Still happy that I was able to actually beat it. So I didn't think it was gonna happen. I truly didn't. And I wanted to say, if I thought I took a, let me see. I thought I took a screenshot of that final, like the item you get after beating Ishin, but you guys just gonna have to take my word, I guess. It's not something I'd lie about, so I don't lie about anything. So, but needless to say, I was happy, extremely happy. So yeah, that'll be what we conclude this on. I am looking forward to Elden Ring now. I can go into Elden Ring with a clean conscience now that Sekiro is behind me. And I know I'm going to catch flack for doing the bad ending, but I don't care. I saw credits and I am a happy man. And in the future, hopefully, if my skills have not diminished too much, I can see that ending that people will probably tell me is the ending I have to get to say I beat the game. So until then, that'll have to do for it. So, yeah. Other than that, just a quick wrap up of what I'm playing right now. The only current, well, I'm playing multiple things, but the main thing my focus is on right now, because I only have, we're down to 11 days. But when this episode comes out on Tuesday, we'll be down to 10 days until Elden Ring releases. So I needed to have something I could finish in time. And a game came out last year called The Ascent. Came out on the Xbox Game Pass, and I had downloaded and started playing it. Isometric twin stick shooter, kind of cyberpunk Diablo style game had come out, and it kind of hits all the buttons in games that I like. And for some reason, I just kind of stopped playing it. So I want to make sure I finish that game. So I picked it back up and started playing it again. And hopefully, I'll have that finished before Elden Ring comes out. And so far, I mean, I kind of forgot about the story because it's been over a month and a half since I last played it. But the gameplay is still fun. I'm having a good time with it. And I'm looking forward to seeing it to the end. I'm trying to complete unfinished games. Another one I had started earlier this year was Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. And unfortunately, I'm just probably gonna give up on that game. As much as it pains me to say, I have played it through to the Frieza saga. Saw the end of that one, and I love Dragon Ball Z. And I want to say this goes all the way through the Buu saga. But from what I've played, and I think I got it's like 10 or 12 hours in it already. It's just rinse and repeat. Like the battles don't feel gratifying at all. It's when you beat somebody, you're only waiting to fight them again and fight them again and fight them again. And I've watched the series so many times. Of course, it feels cool to play through it, but you're not like getting anything new. So there's like no surprise in what's happening. And the combat just gets kind of stale and repetitive after a while. So unfortunately, I don't know if I'm going to see that one to the end. So I'm just tired of doing the same thing over and over. That game, I had high hopes for it when it first came out and just kind of disappointed. So, but that was one I had worked on earlier this year, and it just, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to see it through to the end just because I know what happens already, too. But the Ascent, I'm definitely going to see that through. And then it's onward to Elden Ring. So, all right. I have babbled long enough sitting here by myself, and I don't want to bore you guys with anything else this episode. So we'll pick back up next week. We'll see what happens this week in the news. See if I've wrapped up the Ascent, and maybe I'll be able to release one of my videos I'm working on near the end of this week, but I doubt it. It's a lot of stuff going into it, so we'll see. Again, if you're new here, thanks for checking it out. Thanks for listening to the show. If you've made it all the way through to the end, again, I'm trying to live stream more often, so go follow me on Twitch. Link will be in the description. Come hang out. I hit affiliate on there, so if you got a free Prime subscription you want to drop to someone, hey, swing it my way. I won't turn it away. So this is what I'm trying to do for a living for the time being now, as we adjust here to this new state of moving. So I'm really trying to focus on this and turn it into something, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyways, I appreciate it, guys, and I will catch you in the next one. Have a good one.